Okay, so for this first section, we are measuring segments, and we're going to use kind of this cheat sheet throughout the entire time. We're going to say part 1 plus part 2 is equal to the whole segment. Okay, so we're going to use that kind of as we go along and do these segment problems. So the very first problem says EG is equal to 71. Well, the first thing I notice is that from E to G, that is my whole segment, 71. So I'm going to label that the whole. All right, I see that I have a first part, E to F. So this is my first part. F to G is my second part, 5x minus 3. And so what we're going to do is we're going to use this, part 1 plus part 2 equals the whole, to try to solve this problem. So part 1 plus part 2 is equal to the entire whole. So what can I plug in for part 1? Well, I think I can plug in 8x minus 17 plus, what can I plug in for part 2? I think that I could plug in 5x minus 3. What can I plug in for the whole? Well, it looks like 71 goes right there. Okay, so what I'm going to do is draw a line down my equal sign. I know that I can't cross that without changing the value or doing the inverse operation. Okay, so I'm going to combine my like terms on the left-hand side. And I know that I have 8x and 5x, which gives me a total of 13x. I have negative 17 plus negative 3, which is going to give me a plus negative 20. And that's equal to 71. Okay, our next step, the only way to get like terms is to move this negative 20 over with this 71. So when I'm moving things over that equal sign, I know that I need to do the opposite. So negative 20 becomes positive 20. So here we have 13x equals 91. So 13 times x equals 91. So here you divide by 13 and you get that x is equal to 7. The problem asked me to find x, so I know that I am finished. Okay, I could, if I wanted to, go back and plug in for my x. All right, but this problem is not asking me to do that. Okay, let's look at example 2. So number 2 says if TV equals 14x minus 8, and we see that T to V is my whole piece. TU, 9x plus 2, is my first piece. UV, 5, is my second piece. So again, we're going to use our rule, 1 plus 2 equals the whole, and go from there. So 9x plus 2 plus the second piece is 5. So here's my first piece, here's my second piece, there's my plus in between them, and we're going to equal the whole, which happens to be 14x minus 8. Again, I'm going to combine my like terms. Okay, so that's 9x plus 7 equals 14x minus 8. Now, the only way for me to get like terms is to go across the equal sign. So I like to pick the smallest x to deal with. It is a like term with 14x, but when I move it across that equal sign, this positive 9x becomes a negative 9x. So 14x minus 9x is 5x, and then my negative 8, to be like terms, needs to move over here with this 7, and that becomes a positive 8 when we do that. So in this case, you get 7 plus 8 is 15. your last step is to divide by 5, and you get that x is equal to 3. But hold on. Did I ask you to find x? No. I asked you to find TU. So what we got to do is we got to go back and plug back in. Okay? So TU is the part that is 9x plus 2, or 9 times x plus 2. Now we let x be 3. So we're going to plug a 3 in for that x. So instead of x, we have 3. 9 times 3, 27 plus 2. So we get that TU is equal to 29. And now we are finished. Okay, number 3. So number 3, it says the whole thing CE, all right, that is our entire whole, is 7x plus 4. Here, my first part is x plus 3. My second part is 8x minus 9. So again, I'm going to use my rule and go from there. So x plus 3 plus 8x minus 9 is equal to 7x plus 4. Combine our like terms. I have an x, positive x, plus 8x is 9x. 3 minus 9, 3 plus negative 9 is negative 6. That's equal to 7x plus 4. Okay, I'm going to move this 7x over to be with 9x. That positive 7x becomes a negative x. I'm also going to move this negative 6 over to be with this 4, and it becomes a positive 4. So we have 2x equals 10. Divide by 2, and we get that x is equal to 5. And that is what it asked us to find, x. Number 4. Okay, number 4 does not have anything listed or written down on our segment. So we have, your segment's already drawn for you guys. Okay, you have S, K, and Y. And they left it blank. Well, dang, why did they leave it blank? Well, they left it blank so that you could go in and use your given information. All right, and we're trying to find all of these values over here. So I know we're definitely going to have to get x and then plug in. So I kind of have a plan for how I'm going to do this. So let's label the parts. So SK. Do I have anything in my given information that tells me SK? I do. It tells me that's 13x minus 5. What about KY? I do. That says it's 2x plus 9. And the whole piece, SY, is 36 minus x. So I can use my rule 1, which is 13x minus 5, plus 2x plus 9, equals the whole 36 minus x. Okay, I'm going to draw my line down the equal sign. I'm also going to add my like terms. 13x plus a 2x on the same side of the equal sign. I just add them or combine them. So that's a 15x. Negative 5 plus 9 is going to give me a plus 4. Okay, now to get like terms, I'm going to take the smallest x, put it with the biggest x. So negative x, I need to move that over the equal sign, changes from a negative to a positive. 15x plus x is 16x. I'm I'm going to take my 4. It is like terms with 36. I'm going to move it over. It was plus 4, so now it needs to become minus 4. And that gives me 32. Divided by 16. I get that x is equal to 2. So now that I have x equals 2, I need to plug 2 in to all of these things. So a 2 is going to go in place of x. A 2 is in place of x. All right, and a 2 is in place of x right here. So, excuse me, the first one, 13 times 2 minus 5. Put that in the calculator. We get 26 minus 5 is 21. So SK is 21. KY, 2 times 2 is 4 plus 9. And that is 13. So this first part is SK. Second part is KY. Third one should be just those two added together. So it should be this plus this, but let's double check. 36 minus 2 should give me 34. And look, what do you know? 21 plus 13 actually is 34. So I know for a fact I've done this correctly. Okay, last one that we're going to do is number 5. And this says H is the midpoint. Okay, the midpoint just means the middle. So when you have midpoints, that means that something is equal on either side. So for example, if my whole segment is 10, the midpoint, that means this is 5 and this is 5. It means that they are equal. And we show that with these little tick marks in geometry. All right, so I know I can say 5 is equal to 5. For these type of problems, we're just going to say part 1 equals part 2. We don't have a whole. We really don't care what 10 is. All right, but we know that these parts are equal to each other. So in our problem, we have 5x plus 2 and 9x minus 10. So those are our two parts. We're going to say 1 equals 2, and we're going to set them equal to each other. So here they don't give us the whole. They just give us the two parts. Okay, I don't have any like terms to combine, but I can move some like terms across the equal sign. So when 5x moves across, it becomes negative 5x. So that's 4x. And when negative 10 moves across, it becomes positive 10 with 2. 2 plus 10 is 12. Divide by 4, we get x is equal to 3.